Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Jeremy Scott Fitness Podcast Radio Show, coming to you on this Sunday, hopping into our Advanced Metcon series here, July the 5th, 2020. Hopefully it finds you guys staying safe and staying sweaty all at the same time. And so while the gyms are closed down again, I'm still dropping you guys as many of the Sunday Advanced Metcons I can, basically with body weight, dumbbells, or kettlebells. In fact, we're actually going to make this into a full-on program here, probably sometime late August for everybody. So if you love the Sunday Advanced Metcons, we're putting together a series, I think, of about 25 of them. And we'll make that for surely will be the hardest program we have ever done. I'm still working on how to kind of formulate it so it makes sense so people don't die. But I know you guys love them, so that is actually coming up on the horizon. But before I jump into today's episode, this podcast is brought to you by my homies over at beamtlc.com. If you guys ever want to try any of their CBD products, hit me up. I have a link that will always get Jeremy Scott Fitness listeners 20% off everything on the site forever until the end of time. And I love their stuff. Obviously, you know, I've had the founders both on the podcast. They flew out here. Super good dudes. Their CBD is 100% THC free, so it will not get you high. You'll have to go to your homies to get some of that stuff. So this one will not show up on a drug test. It's not going to, make you want to crush Funyuns and Reese's peanut butter cups at midnight. But it will help with a whole plethora of other things. I actually been taking the Dream capsules every single night. And just for sleep, honestly, and obviously, they do say it helps with stress. And this is a stressful time for many people all around the world, especially in America with all the shit that's going on. And, just like when you think you're going to get out of it, it pulls you back in. So the Dream capsules that I've been taking, obviously, they have the nano CBD in there, but they also have melatonin in there, which if you guys are familiar, melatonin is the hormone that, the body naturally produces to trigger an evening kind of rest or sleep cycle. It also has magnesium in there, which is shown to help with stress reduction and also mood regulation. And also the L-theanine, which is the amino acid that's found in, you can promote, like the alpha waves in the brain, which is associated with like a wakeful relaxation. And again, for me, what I've noticed taking CBD before I go to sleep, not that I say like it feels like I'm knocked out, but it helps me stay asleep. So I get like a more restful sleep. I have less disturbances other than to wake up to pee. So I've been taking the Beam CBD, the tincture for a long time. And then recently I just hopped onto the Dream capsules. They also have a powder you can use too. If you guys are watching me on YouTube right now, it's just like these. It comes in these like little packs. And again, has the lion's mane in there as well. If you're taking the Clarity product, which is it helps with brain function, so I need that. So if you're interested in, easing some anxiety and getting rid of some stress and having a better quality sleep and doing it in a natural way without using, harsher pharmaceuticals, hit me up. I'll send you a link for 20% off everything on the Beam site, always and forever, because you guys are Jeremy Scott Fitness supporters. So appreciate Beam and all of you listening. So without further delay, today's podcast episode, we are talking about bacon and the truth about bacon. And here's how you can properly add bacon into your diet. I can't believe we haven't talked about this before. Most of you guys are probably bacon fans for sure. Actually, the guy in here probably like a couple weeks ago, before we had to close down and all that fun shit, he was telling me he rode his bike to a local place here and tried the peanut butter, jelly, and bacon burger that they had on the menu. And I know they do it. I think if you're going to do that on a menu, you've probably perfected it, right? Like, you're not just going to throw that shit out there and have people try it if it's not amazing. And I think it's a certain kind of jam that they do. And then obviously like the layer of peanut butter, and then obviously the bacon is kind of put in there. I think even, what did he say? It was like was it a peanut butter infused bacon or something like that? It was real fancy, but it sounded legit. And I'm hungry right now, so obviously anything I say is going to trigger me wanting to eat that. But I've been tempted. There's a place here in Scottsdale called Rehab Burger, and I've never had the peanut butter and jelly burger there. I think theirs has bacon on it too. If not, you can probably throw it on there. But all of it sounds amazing. I'm a burger and fries guy and a pizza guy and an ice cream guy and everything else. Just like, I like all the same shit you guys do. But I think a lot of times people think of bacon, they think of, clogged arteries and love handles, and it's something that's, terrible for you to eat. And, that's right. Eating bacon, doesn't have to be a bad thing. I guess I'll put it that way. A lot of people think if you eat bacon, you are solidifying your chance of getting heart disease and a fat belly and just a lifetime of health issues. But thinking this way, I think, is a terrible misconception. In truth, bacon is a good addition to your diet when used properly. Now, obviously, if you're listening to me and you have some underlying health issues and your doctor has advised you to never try it or touch it or be around it, then please, obviously, listen to them. I'm just some dude in a warehouse who enjoys helping people as best he can. But for most of us out there, I do think when used properly, bacon can be a good addition to your diet, and it can be something that you can enjoy more often than you would indulge in something like pancakes or syrups and crepes and like all the sugary cereals and shit like that. And so that's my issue, like obviously, pancakes and syrups, may look good to some people, but I don't think it's good for you at all. Like, they taste amazing, but I don't think there's any major health benefits of pancakes and syrup, or waffles and syrup for that matter, other than you're just gonna say fuck it for the day and eat something that you want to do to enjoy your life and light up your taste buds, which again, there's nothing wrong with that. But people will sometimes vilify, let's say, bacon and say, oh, but I ate this cereal instead. I'm like, did you really make a better choice? And so bacon is not an unhealthy food when it's used and chosen correctly. And as you're going through this, you're going to kind of learn like how to properly put bacon in your diet, and we'll just dig right into it. So what is bacon, first of all, right? Like, bacon is a cured meat. For you guys who are not familiar with what I'm talking about, it's a natural way to prevent the meat from spoiling in a way of salt and often nitrates that are, traditionally comes obviously from a pig. It consists of both the meat of the pig plus the fat, known as the lard. And bacon usually comes from either the belly of the pig, the back, or the sides. And the amount of fat, or lard if you will, in the bacon depends on how fat the pig is, with the belly usually being the fatter than the back, especially in America. Now, today you can also find bacon made from turkey, which is also super popular. I personally don't think it tastes as good, but there is some good turkey bacon out there. And there's, again, everything, at least I think everywhere, honestly, like, we've taken such simple things as humans and we've made them complex. We've made them a thing, right? So wine, there's like 1 trillion wines, there's 1 trillion beers, there's 1 trillion whiskeys, there's like 1 trillion bacons now, right? Like styles, cuts, thicknesses, parts of the body, the way that we season them or use them. Bacon has become fancy, and I think even some of the turkey bacons are kind of going that route too. But if you actually spend time reading the label of, let's say, like turkey bacon, and not all of them, again, I'm going to do blanket statements here. There's great products with pig bacon, there's great products with turkey bacon. But a lot of times people will grab, let's say, a turkey bacon thinking it's a way healthier choice. And then you'll see, if you dig a little bit deeper in the laundry list of ingredients, a lot of them probably aren't great for you. Now, again, there is some awesome ones out there, but a lot of times people just grab stuff and they don't do any research. That's why I say the average person is, rather lazy with what they put in their body, yet they'll research like a trip, or they'll watch, 6 hours of Netflix, but they won't look at the label of a food item at the store for more than 15 seconds. Now, when you look at some of the ingredients, some of the processed shit, right? You'll have like the hydrolyzed, like corn gluten, soy protein, wheat gluten, some of the silicone like dioxide and nitrates are going to be packed in there, especially in America. And obviously, if there's ever a time to be more health conscious than ever, I believe it would be now during like this global, like a pandemic, right? Like when, and again, anything can happen to anybody anytime, but I think when you put yourself in a position to be successful, meaning you exercise, you get quality sleep, you drink water, you pump your body full of greens, and you get real whole nutrient dense foods, you're going to be better than the people who are just kind of throwing shit all up in their system. And in America, I believe now the number is like, what is it, 70% of people are overweight. That's a lot, dude. That means 7 out of 10 people you see walking on the street are overweight. That means 7 out of 10 of your neighbors, when you drive down 10 houses, 7 out of the 10 have people who are overweight and have some excess weight to lose. And that's a rough place to be in, man. And then you add on top of that some other health issues that come into play, and it becomes hard for the body to fight things off. And so that's why I say I try to make these episodes to educate you as best we can in terms of what is healthy. Now, I do think the Europeans have it right, like all over Germany, pork reigns supreme. From bacon to sausage to lard, no parts of the pig are left unused. And if you take a good look at, the traditional Germans, you'll notice that they're not as often overweight as Americans, nor do they suffer from the same chronic diseases that we do. No, this is a generalized blanket statement. There's unhealthy, obviously, Germans. There's ultra healthy Americans. I think in America, we have the two biggest extremes. I think we have some of the healthiest, fittest of all people, some of them, the super athletes, if you will, and then we have some of the unhealthiest people and habits. And unlike, modern day Americans, Europeans use the lard for most of their baking and cooking. Previously in the US, we used to incorporate a lot of lard into our daily diets, but with the notion, from the government, basically, that pig fat is too, quote unquote, saturated and unhealthy, we shifted to the use of like these hydrogenated plant oils, aka the vegetable shortenings, which actually made us sicker, fatter, and have more disease when you look at it. So that's why I'm talking about like the natural form of things. Obviously, there's going to be the keto people who are listening to this and be like, we told you so. Like, I'm not saying eat 46 slabs of bacon a day and throw butter in your coffee and go crazy, but there is something to be said about doing things the natural route. And I don't think fat is the enemy. Eating fat doesn't necessarily make you fat. If you're at a calorie deficit and you're eating fat, you're not going to gain weight. It's mathematically impossible to do. Now, if all you're eating is processed fat and bullshit at a surplus and not exercising, well, yeah, that becomes the issue. But again, bacon inherently is not going to do that. Coconut oil is not going to do that. Butter by itself is not going to do that. And again, I'm talking to the general public here. If you have some prescription from your doctor and they told you not to do something, please always listen to them. I'm just giving you my take here. And so why is, bacon better than, I guess a lot of people would lead you to believe? Well, to understand bacon and the fat that's rich in it, the lard, right? That it's a healthy choice for us in our diets, along with other beneficial fats and proteins. Let's look at the nutritional science of the food, right? So if we took a tablespoon of, let's say, pure lard, and we see that it consists of an even balance of saturated and monosaturated fatty acids with some unsaturated and cholesterol. So all the animal fats contain cholesterol, but no trans fat. So specifically, if we're going to break down, let's say, bacon here, and we're going to look at, or let's go this route. Let's take this tablespoon of pure lard. And if we're looking at the tablespoon, this is coming from a study out of the University of Alberta, I believe, back in the early 2000s. We're talking 5.9 grams of saturated fatty acids, 6.4 grams of monosaturated fatty acids, 2 grams of the unsaturated fatty acids, mostly those are omega-6, and 14 milligrams of cholesterol. Now, if we compare that to, let's say, vegetable shortening, you're looking at 3.8 grams saturated, 6.7 monosaturated, 3.9 grams polyunsaturated, and then 2 grams of trans fatty acids, which those are man-made for you guys listening at home. So, and 0 grams of cholesterol. Now, what's most frightening is the trans fats that are found in the man-made fake lard substitutes. And as most of us know, if you've listened to this podcast and other episodes, trans fats have now been linked directly to heart disease, morbidity, and mortality. And there is a strong move to rid our shelves of the dangerous trans fats as soon as possible. That's why we try to say, like, when you're looking at stuff like trans fats, probably not going to be your friend. because obviously if we know there is a direct link to heart disease, morbidity, and mortality, why would you want to throw that into your diet if you don't have to, when you can actually go a natural route that doesn't have all that man-made bullshit up in there? And I think when you look at, I think heart disease is the #1 killer of people in America per year. I think it's like something like 400,000. It's a crazy number. And again, we know health is important, yet we don't make that a focal point of a lot of conversations. If people really understood that's what's killing them and that's what's causing them to look and move and feel like shit, I think they would start making better choices. And I think we know it on some subconscious level, yet people don't make it a major priority, which is insane to me. Like, knowing if you're healthier, it doesn't mean you're gonna live forever. It doesn't mean I couldn't get T-bone on the way home here and drop fucking dead, or something else could happen to me. But if it puts you in a position to be more successful, if it puts you in a position to better fight off disease and infection, and if nothing else, if it doesn't prolong your life, if it just made the quality of your life while you were here better, you could jump, you could move, you could run, you could swim, you could hike, you could bike, you could do more things, you just felt better every day and more inspired, why would you not do almost everything in your power to throw good things into your body? Doesn't make any sense to me. So, end of rant. Saturated fat is not always bad. And I know a lot of people make it seem like it is the evil and it's the devil. And some people still think saturated fats are the worst thing on the planet. And as a result, they've, kind of banned bacon from their homes or things in that same arena. However, fatty acid, experts today emphasize that saturated fat from natural sources, I repeated myself there, like your meats, your dairies, your tropical oils, the palm, coconut oil, which I've talked about many times on the podcast, are not detrimental for your health, but instead much better than the polyunsaturated and hydrogenated substitutes that we've been recently using. That's why when I post things at home, if you guys watch my, IGTV live videos, my Instagram stories, or if you guys are watching on YouTube right now and follow us on YouTube, Real Food Hustle is what I always preach. And again, do I like cinnamon rolls? Shit, yeah, I do. Do I like pizza? Yeah, I do. But 99% of the time, I try to eat things in the realest form because I feel better that way. And I believe that's the way nature intended it, and that's the way I believe we should consume it for the most part. Now, there are always going to be outlying things, but why throw in a bunch of man-made bullshit if you don't need to, when you know the real stuff is giving you what the body actually needs? And I know it's confusing to try to tell yourself that saturated fat isn't bad, like you once thought or probably were programmed. However, it's important to realize, like, you were fed lies and deceived for many years in a lot of areas of life. I think now we're starting to see that in the world now, as there's a little bit more transparency with things. But all these things that we were told, like, eating fat will make you fat, and like and then all of a sudden let's go on these low fat diets, and then they upped the sugar and the carbohydrates and all the other, processed shit. All that did was make us fatter, sicker, and more unhealthy. And so we need to change the way that obviously we are thinking about things. And so the bottom line is that saturated fats, like that are found in, let's say, bacon, can and should fit into a healthy diet inside, healthy caloric ranges, inside healthy macro ranges. And that, like, bacon fits into a diet that is low in sugar, a diet that is low in processed carbohydrates, a diet that is low in synthetic chemicals, but high in fresh, organic if you can, low pesticide fruits and vegetables and organic meats and fishes and nuts and seeds, and shove as many greens up in that as you can. Obviously that fills into vegetables, but I have to say that the more greens you guys can eat, the better. And so that's how bacon can fit into a diet. Bacon does not fit in when you're crushing 14 beers and eating a sleeve of Oreos and then, well, Jeremy said I could have bacon. Nah, bro, that's not where I'm going with this. Like, you can eat bacon, and I think it's a healthy thing to throw into your diet if you have no underlying crazy health issues and nobody's giving you any other, dietary restrictions, if your diet is low in sugar and processed shit and chemicals. And it's high in vegetables and organic meats and in fishes and nuts and seeds and those types of things. So if we take it a step further here, the essential omega-6 and the omega-3 balance, and what about the omega-6 fats in bacon? Now, some people feel that bacon and other foods containing omega-6 polyunsaturated fats should be minimized, and the focus should be placed on omega-3s, such as your fish, your flax, your certain nuts, which both are true and kind of untrue too. I throw chia seeds up in there too. I love chia seeds for omegas, and I love salmon too. It's correct. We should try to keep a fairly close balance between the omega-6, which is found in most meats and some nuts and seeds, and the omega-3 fats, but we can't completely eliminate the omega-6 in favor of the omega-3s. Not only is it almost impossible, unless you eat completely fat-free meats and avoid all nuts and oils, but your body needs omega-6s because they are essential, meaning necessary for proper metabolic and physiologic function. It's more important to maintain a healthy ratio of omega-6 found in foods like bacon, with omega-3s found in DHA-enriched eggs and omega-3 fishes. For example, a good breakfast, for a lot of you guys, if you eat breakfast, or if you're not a breakfast person, lunch, dinner, snack, I just say breakfast because it's people equate bacon and eggs like with breakfast, right? But breakfast food works just as good at midnight if you've ever been shit-faced and you rolled up into a Denny's at 1 a.m. Tastes all the same. Or if you're from the Midwest like me, a Perkins, or what else are you guys familiar with? Probably Baker Square. If you're on the West Coast, Sherry's. They're all kind of the same place. Man, I've not been to a Perkins in so long. And it's so cheap, too. You get like your omelet and they'll bring you like hash browns, maybe a little cup of fruit, and like 3 pancakes and syrup. It's like $10. Man, the things I did as a kid, you'd be like just hammered shit-faced. You get like what I would do. This is what I would do. This is off topic. This has nothing to do with this podcast whatsoever. And I'm probably going to lose my train of thought completely here. But you'd roll up into Perkins at like 1 a.m. just hammered, and I'd get like a chicken tender melt, but like also pancakes with like honey mustard sauce and ranch. So it's like you got your French fries, and in the Midwest you put ranch in everything. This is what you do. And you got your chicken tender melt, and you're dipping it in your ranch, and then you're dipping it in your honey mustard sauce, and then you're dipping your fries into your ranch, and then you're crushing pancakes too. After you probably had about 20 Bud Heavies. And that was my life. And the fact that I'm still here breathing is utterly a miracle. But people still do that kind of stuff. And that's why we are in the boat we're in as Americans and not healthy. But I digress. The point I was driving at, it's important to maintain that healthy ratio of omega-6 foods found in like your bacon, and the omega-3s found in like the DHA enriched eggs, and the omega-3 fortified eggs, and like your omega-3 rich fishes, like the salmons I mentioned. So an example of a good breakfast or any meal, for example, would be a combination of a few slices of like legit bacon with the omega-3 eggs, topped with, let's say, organic salsa and avocado. That's a pretty delicious and legit meal, if I do have to say so. So we're gonna walk in like 3 more things here, and I'll get you guys out the door. We're talking the science of bacon fat, right? So back in, I think it was like 2003-ish, the research study at the University of Alberta is looking at the effects of high bacon fat diet compared to like a high palm oil diet on the cholesterol synthesis and the inflammation profiles of 10 healthy men. And so they cooked food for these guys every single day. They ate what was given to them, and they ate things like BLTs, which you guys are familiar with, the bacon, lettuce, and lard tomato sandwiches. I guess you call them BLLTs, right? Because they threw the lard up in there just to make sure they had enough fat. And then hash browns cooked in lard, and then bacon and eggs also cooked in lard. And after 6 weeks on each diet, their blood was analyzed, their cholesterol synthesis rates, cholesterol, and their triglyceride concentrates, and obviously the markers for inflammation. They looked at those, and what they found was that the high lard diets compared to the high palm oil diets produced significantly lower total cholesterol and total cholesterol HDL levels, with slightly lower LDL cholesterol and inflammatory marker levels. And you guys are listening and saying, Jeremy, I don't know what the fuck you just said. Well, what that means is that the fat from lard may be less, inflammatory than the fat from the palm oil. Now, that does not mean palm oil is bad for you, but it suggests that the lard may be better when you consume it often. So that's just a side note. I thought I'd throw that in there. It was interesting as I was reading it, and even for me, it took a little bit of brain function to decipher. So when we're talking bacon, what is the best bacon to buy? What's the best route to take? Which one would you suggest? Now, choosing a healthy bacon. Now, that we understand that the fat from bacon is not inherently bad for you when paired, again, with a healthy, well-balanced diet. If you're crushing a sleeve of Oreos and drinking 10 beers a day, don't throw bacon into the mix. It's not going to save you from doing anything. It's not a life raft. So now that we know that the fat in bacon is not going to kill you if your diet is well balanced, and it's not harmful to your health, I wouldn't go out and immediately go purchase every single bacon that you find at the store and eat it every single day. First, you need to look for a bacon that is as close to natural as possible. What does that mean? I would focus on one, if you can, that is nitrate free. And nitrate, the sodium nitrate, is a preservative used in bacon to not only prevent spoilage, but also keep bacon like a nice reddish color, if you will. Now, however, nitrate is also known as a carcinogen, which can be related to an increased risk of certain types of cancers. So there's a million studies on that. I'm not going to hash that here. That's for different podcasts altogether. So what I'm saying is, if you guys decide to choose a bacon to help you either stick to a lower carbohydrate diet, or just eat instead of your typical toast and jam, make sure you choose wisely, and a natural nitrate-free bacon is probably going to be the best. Now, with bacon, you don't have to worry about the pig being full of artificial and natural, or the shit hormones. Because I don't think they're allowed to use those on pigs, if I'm not mistaken. But again, I always err on the side of farm fresh, organic, preservative free, nitrate free, hormone free, antibiotic free, basically make sure they didn't pump them full of a bunch of shit to make them grow and then feed that shit onto you, is what I'm saying. Now, the reason bacon became uber popular, in obviously carnivore diet, or if it's in the keto diet, is because you can plug it in and it fits because there's no carbohydrates in it. And so you can stick to a lower carbohydrate diet because you're eating a little bit higher fat. And I do tend to find bacon helps you be satisfied, and so satiety, satiation, like how the brain and the gut communicate. Those higher fat, higher protein diets, you tend to be fuller for longer, and it is more satisfying. I'm the first one to tell you, if I'm gonna eat a burger, even if it sucks, you throw bacon on it, it just makes it a little bit better. Bacon is kind of like peanut butter. I think if you throw peanut butter and a banana into a protein shake, it automatically takes it from a terrible protein shake to a pretty good one. You can take anything that's even if it isn't cooked great, and throw bacon on it, at least makes it probably palatable. Your chicken that you kind of messed up, throw some bacon on it. Bacon wrapped chicken just tastes better, right? Shit, you can even mess up, even if you got shrimp, bacon wrapped shrimp. You can take a burger, throw some bacon on it. Even if you messed it up on the grill, bacon just makes it taste a little bit better. So again, there is a place for bacon to be healthy in its natural form in a well-balanced diet. So I think for a lot of you guys, it can help you eat a better breakfast if you're breakfast people. And so now that bacon is I would consider a safe or legit breakfast food, you can use it to not only enhance the taste of your eggs and maybe help you skip the toast and the muffin and the jams. And again, I'm not saying you can't throw those in and there isn't a place for them, but for a lot of you guys, starting off your day with toast and jam and muffins and bagels is just it's all downhill from there. It's why are you going to punt 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 carbohydrates right off the bat, and now you got to go the whole day trying to kind of squeeze in everything else around your macros. I think it's easier for most people here that we coach and talk to if they start off their day with a higher protein, higher fat breakfast with maybe just some fresh veggies, they tend to be more successful throughout the day, because if they do fuck up at lunch or dinner, they can buy themselves some space. They haven't already, tanked it in 80 grams of, bagel carbs to start the day because they were too scared to throw some bacon up in there. So obviously we know bacon can enhance your breakfast, but it can also enhance the taste of your favorite salads at lunch, or even at like a side dish at dinner. Or again, like I mentioned before, if you messed up the meat, just wrap that shit in bacon and I think you guys will be okay. So no matter what you choose to do, like with your diet, bacon or not, just remember that bacon isn't inherently evil or bad for you, and it's not going to ruin your health if everything else is on point. And also, when eaten in the context of, again, like I said, a low sugar and unprocessed diet, it'll not make you look, like you got the belly of a pig. It'll just enhance the flavor of your food, and I think it can fit in all the same. And I think you'd be better off eating a legit, real version of pig bacon than like a nitrate packed processed shit version of like a turkey bacon. Even if the macros might seem friendlier on the fake version of something, I think over time, as long as you can make it fit into your day, the real version of bacon is gonna be better for a lot of you guys. We don't buy it at our house a ton, just for the fact of I'm too lazy to make it. I did for a long time. I got in the habit of like where I would throw it into a lot of things. I just haven't recently, maybe because the world has been weird, I'm not sure why, but for a long time I would do my eggs and bacon. I went into a lot of chicken sausage lately, but I will say this, I do go to this place by our house, Salads to Go, which is mostly, I think almost everything, I don't know if everything on the menu is organic, so don't quote me on that. Most of their stuff is organic, like the meat, the veggies, it's great. And I don't know how they do this shit so fast. Like, it's the fastest drive-through salad place ever. But I'll get a Cobb salad there with double chicken. Now, I take out the tomatoes because I hate the texture of tomatoes. It creeps me out. I do like tomato sauce. I like ketchup and things. I just don't like tomatoes like that. But I take out the tomatoes, but the rest of it I eat. And part of that Cobb salad is obviously bacon. It does just make it taste better. It's chicken, it's bacon, it's avocado. It's all the things that are on a Cobb salad. There's eggs on there. It's great. My point is that without the bacon, I think it would be fine, but it does enhance the flavor of it. If I make burgers at home sometimes for friends or people, we have guests come over, I'll basically, I'll grill up that and then throw some bacon on there. Even at Thanksgiving time at our house, I've grilled turkeys before. Now we just do Whole Foods because I'm way too lazy. It takes way too long. You grill something for like 5 to 7 hours and it takes 10 minutes to eat it and people are done. I'm like, it's not rewarding to me. I do like to grill like meat and cook, but man, for 5-7 hours for people just to eat it in 10 minutes is really just a deflating thing. But when I had grilled a turkey before, my old man actually turned me onto that years ago. Remember, he grilled a turkey. I think I was probably in college. That's the first time we did it. But like on a charcoal grill, like a Weber. So you put the charcoals on the outside. You create like basically like a circle. So the middle is hollow. And then you, just like you would put your turkey in the oven, you put it in your pan, you put it on the grill. I mean, you pack that bad boy with butter like crazy. Probably like 4 or 5 sticks of butter. I don't have the recipe in front of me. And then what I would do is I would take bacon and I cover the entire turkey, every piece of the skin with bacon. And then obviously you cover it with tin foil and you grill that thing. It takes hours and hours and hours. But 2 things it does. 1, it helps preserve the skin so you guys don't burn it if you're gonna grill a turkey. But 2, that bacon on there that you've just been letting cook for hours and obviously basting with butter and butter and butter, man. Oh, it's like drugs, dude. But the point is that a lot of times, even if I make just burgers at the house or carne asada or something, I'll take some tin foil and I'll just throw some bacon up top and just grill it, and it enhances the flavor of anything we're gonna do. Or you chop it up and like I said, you can throw it in salads, you can throw it in your eggs or egg muffins or basically anything you do into your shrimp dishes. Again, it's like those things like ketchup or ranch or peanut butter or bacon. It's like cardio. It just makes everything better, right? It just makes everything taste a little bit more fancy. And I think that's a great way you guys can throw it in. And we do it at our house just for the fact of, again, my wife and I, we eat similar. We eat very lower, I don't want to say very lower carbohydrate. It's very low is a relative term. I eat a lower carbohydrate diet. It's minimally processed. We don't eat much sugar. I probably eat more sugar than she does on average because I've been so addicted to blueberries lately. I've been eating like 6 to 12 ounces of blueberries a day. I don't even know how much sugar's in that. I don't think it's a ton, but I'll eat more fruit than her for sure on average, and I probably have a higher sugar count. But again, I'm a bigger dude, and so I can burn more calories, so it's just fine. But other than that, we don't eat a lot of processed shit. One day a week we'll maybe go crazy with it. And so I do think if you guys are eating healthy, it's a great way to, and honestly, here's my take, and I'll let you guys go. I think it makes it easier for you to have a sustainable, nutrition plan and diet when you enjoy what you're eating. If you think health food sucks and you hate what you eat every day, it's going to be impossible to stay successful. And if you're eating already, a lower sugar diet, lower processed diet, lower carbohydrate diet, if you can find things you truly enjoy and it can enhance the flavor of things, you're more likely to stick with it for the long term. Again, I'm not saying throw 14 pieces of bacon on everything, but in moderation, it can fit into your day. And when you enjoy what you're eating, when you like what you're eating, you're less likely to quit doing it because, A, you actually enjoy it. It would be like you like having sex, right? And you're in the middle of having sex. You don't just like quit in the middle because this sucks, I want to do something else. Like, no, you enjoy the process of it, so you keep going. Like, you do the same thing with food. Like, if you like eating bacon and you know it's helping you towards your goals, you're more likely to keep eating bacon. You're not going to quit and then turn to cake. Does that make sense what I'm saying? Like, you have to enjoy the process. With everything in life, you have to enjoy the process of it. It's like your workouts. Yeah, some of them are going to suck and be terrible, but at some point you have to enjoy the physical activity. If you don't, you're going to make every excuse not to do it. It's just why people make every excuse not to eat spinach, not to eat kale, because they probably don't like it. So if you can make these things a little bit sexier by doing things around it, then why not do that? And if bacon can be that thing for you, throw it into your diet. And again, in all the ways that we recommended here earlier. So hopefully that helps. And we'll title this podcast, I believe, The Truth About Bacon, because I think that's the truth of it. So throw it on your things in moderation. And again, if you're already eating like shit, it's not going to help you. It's not going to save you. I'm not giving you a free pass here to do stupid stuff. Obviously, if you guys are listening to me, I'm assuming you're above average intelligence and you guys are making already amazing choices in your rock stars. And many of you are much, much smarter than me. And so don't be afraid of it. And again, just educate yourself. And again, if you're really worried about it, talk to your doctor, talk to your physician, see what they think, and go over the entire scope of what you're eating and how you're eating with them. And my only asterisk with that is just make sure your physician is educated and your physician knows what they're talking about in terms of diet and nutrition. Just because I know a lot of, just general practitioners, like your general family doctor, they probably had a nutrition course 5, 10, 15, 20 years ago. And if they're not really into it themselves and they haven't been studying it, sometimes they just don't put the amount of time, effort, energy they need to into understanding like what can help people find that balance of being healthy. And again, that's why I say food is the hardest thing, because nutrition is different for all of us. We all react differently to foods. There's certain things we can get away with and certain things some of us can't, and you have to make the choice for you and find what's going to help you be the most successful. But for me, I tend to do better on a higher protein, higher fat diet and a lower carbohydrate diet, not just in terms of how I look, which, yeah, that's important what I do for a living, but how I feel, really. And I think a lot of you, you're going to get rid of a lot of inflammation in your body when you cut out a lot of the breads and the cereals and the pastas. And again, I'm not vilifying them. There is great ones out there, and obviously in moderation they fit, but you know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the shitty ones that people just can't seem to kick and make excuses of, because it's just like this cyclical, shitty eating cycle and this yo-yoing and this roller coaster ride that they do of unhealthiness. And I'm trying to get you out of it any way I can. And so, hey, maybe bacon can be the thing to do that. So again, this podcast was brought to you by my homies over at Beam. If you guys want to try any of the Beam CBD products, hit me up. The Jeremy Scott Fitness code will always get you 20% off, always. I can send you the link directly. And again, I'll let you guys know exactly what I take and how I take it. I've been on the Dream capsules lately because it does have a little bit of melatonin in there, the L-theanine, and obviously the magnesium with the CBD. So I do find it helps me stay asleep. And especially during this time of life, I think getting quality sleep and not stressing and going crazy is probably one of the most important things you can do. And so anything that can naturally help me do that without the aid of like some harsh ass pharmaceuticals, which I think will do way more harm than good, I'm all for getting on the CBD kick. And so if you guys are interested, hit me up. I'll send you the link. Everything's 20% off on the site. If nothing else, it'll help you maybe get rid of some anxiety and some stress and help you get a better night's sleep, which we all know is important for our immune system and for brain function and to repair and recover and just to, to not be walking around like a zombie all day. So if you guys are on iTunes right now, stop. Don't be a lazy ass. Go to your podcast app on your iPhone, scroll your finger all the way down, drop me a 5-star, leave a comment on the ratings and reviews, and share this episode with a friend or family member if you think it can help them. Same thing if you were on your MacBook or your iPad, go to the iTunes icon, ratings and reviews, 5-star it, drop a couple sentences, truly would appreciate it. And if you guys want to hear anything else on the podcast or some guests, shoot me a message. I'll try to get them on as soon as, we can all get together again in the world. I might get some people in the office this week, just for the fact of the world is closed here again. So if I can get you some good quality podcast guests, social distanced, of course, I'm happy to do that. Some interesting, fun people just to drop, some knowledge or some fun stories on you guys. I'm happy to do that. And other than that, man, I'm just taking it day to day like you guys, because I can't do anything else other than just take it one day at a time, because everything is changing and shifting so quick. It's hard to keep up, man. It really is. But we are working on our Sunday Advanced Face Melter program, which will be the next program. Not Face Melter. Our Face Melter program just started today. See, I'm losing my mind. Our Sunday Advanced MetCon series will be the next program that we probably launch. Our 47-day was in the docket, but I know all of you guys love those terrible Sunday sessions we put together. So my goal is to get like 25 legit, and then with some mobility and recovery stuff in there, because there's no way you can go through all those advanced Sunday MetCons back to back to back to back to back. I can't even do that. It'll crush me, man. So I'm gonna try to do that in August. I think it's fun, and a lot of people are probably still stuck at home then. Hopefully not, but who knows? And so I'll try to get something fun for everybody that is challenging. That will be advanced, and it surely isn't for everyone, but it'll be fun in like the grossest way possible. So that's what I look forward to now. But our Face Melter people are actually starting tomorrow with their day one, and we'll rock with them for 5 weeks. But again, if you guys got questions on programs, anything we do here, anything I take or training, you name it, just shoot me a DM or send me an email. I'm happy to get back to you. And we appreciate you guys for listening. As always, stay safe and stay sweaty. And until next time, eat well, train hard, be nice to people, and please, you guys, keep doing shit you love with people you enjoy, because your life is too short not to. I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.